Hi, my name is Santos Loo. I'm an LA-based food stylist, and today I'm going to show you how I style a barbecue bacon cheeseburger with creamy slaw. When I'm thinking about this burger, I'm thinking about the bottom to the top, and I'm also thinking about the angle of the camera. In this case, we're going to shoot the burger at eye level. When I build this burger, I've run it through my head, not exaggerating, probably 300 times. For this burger, I'm going to use a brioche bun. I love using brioche bun because it's already glamorous. All I need to do is give it a nice toast, making sure that it's golden. I like to use a cast iron skillet because it gives me more even heat. So I'm not going to have parts of the bun that are more toasted than the other part. Once the bun is down, I rotate the bun just to ensure that I get even toasting. I constantly check the bun, and I like to press the edges of the bun as it toasts just to make sure that it's making contact with the pan. Once the bottom bun is nicely toasted on the inside, roll it around just a little bit on the edges. So I'm not looking for necessarily an even browning, just a little bit here and there. I think that'll give it a nice touch in the end. Now it's time for the bacon. I chose a thick cut maple bacon because ultimately this burger is going to be pretty stacked and I want you to be able to see the bacon immediately. Start the pan on a medium-low heat. If the pan were on too high a heat, the bacon would just fry and overcook quickly. When cooking this bacon, I like not to put it on the pan flat. Nestle it in the pan in a way so that it curls. When I put it on the burger, these curves are going to give the burger volume, and it's also going to create shelves for the slaw to hang on to and rest on. As I'm turning the bacon over, I'm allowing all these natural curls to happen, helping it happen by lifting it if I have to. Once the bacon is done, I'm just going to set it aside and get ready to cook the patties. Lightly coat the cast iron pan with a little bit of vegetable oil. Too much oil is going to fry my meat. A blend of 80-20, which means 80% lean beef to 20% fat. This blend is going to yield a patty that has more texture. I like to use my fingers to press the meat from the center to the outside using my thumb and my finger. It doesn't necessarily have to be perfect, but it should be round. Any cracks that I see right now, I want to make sure to pinch those together because as it cooks, the crack will just split more. Form the patty so that it is about a ½ inch bigger than the bun itself. It's going to shrink a little bit, but not very much. The cooked patty should stick out a ½ inch or so. I like to press the edges of the patty to make sure that I get contact. My approach is to first sear it on a flat cast iron skillet. I'm then going to transfer it onto a grill pan and give it those nice grill marks. And then just carefully and gently sear the edges. The edges are important because that's what you're going to see. Now I'm heating my cast iron grill pan. A meat that is fried is going to look too crusty. A meat that is seared is going to yield a deeper brown color. Grease the ridges just a little bit with vegetable oil. And once the pan starts to smoke, I'm going to take my burger patty and I'm going to press it into the marks. Firm but gentle. I don't want to move this around too much because I want the marks to be clear and bold. See these little crevices in here? That's really nice. All right, these burger patties are looking really good right now. Later, if I have to cut this in half, I know that it's going to be a juicy, medium well done burger. I have the standard slaw ingredients: cabbage, carrot, and some green onions. Now for the cabbage, I've selected green and purple just to add that touch of color. Whenever I'm working with cabbage, I like to peel away the first layer or two to reveal the more fresher, crispier interior. When it comes time to slice cabbage for a slaw, the lengthwise sliced cabbage yields a better product for this recipe. It's lighter, and as you can see here, it's going to provide me a lot of volume. When preparing anything for a food styling job, I'm always thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead. So I know that this creamy dressing that I'm gonna fold into this salad is gonna weigh the vegetables down. And so if I can cut the cabbage in a way which gives me volume, it's going to help prevent that. When cooking food, I get into a zone and I begin to think several steps ahead because this is gonna pay off later. The next vegetable I'm gonna prepare is the carrots. I'm just gonna simply cut these into 2 to 3 inch long segments and then thinly slice these into planks, stack the planks together. I wanna cut these super thin so that they give me volume. And here we go with the scallion. I'm gonna cut these as thinly as I can, just as I did the carrots and the cabbage. The end product is gonna look so, so good. All my veggies are prepped. I'm gonna set these aside and prepare the coleslaw dressing. For this dressing, I have the usual suspects. I have, of course, the mayo. I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow mustard for tang. I love using smoked paprika in this because it's going to give the overall dressing a nice rose color. Let's add a couple dashes of vinegar. And I also like to add honey. Sometimes recipes like this call for sugar, but I instead like to use honey because it'll also give the dressing a thickness. Let's look at how the dressing clings to the whisk. Imagine the whisk being pieces of cabbage. This is looking really good. It's coating the whisk and it's dripping, but it's not running off of it. Now that we have all of our prep done, it's finally time to build this bacon barbecue cheeseburger. Flavor-wise, this burger is gonna be fantastic, but my priority is a visual one. The first thing that I ask is, how is the food being shot? In this case, the burger is being shot at eye level. I am designing this burger to that angle. 70% of it is probably game plan, and 30% I'm just gonna leave up to the moment. I'm gonna improvise. It's what's gonna make this burger special. Let's give this bun a little bit of shine. We gave it color. Now it's time to highlight that color. And I'm simply gonna do this by touching it here and there with a little bit of vegetable oil. Not too much. I don't wanna grease this bun down, but I definitely wanna highlight some of those beautiful toasted areas. I picked a barbecue sauce that was on the red side as opposed to a brown barbecue sauce. When the burger patty is placed on top, the sauce is going to gently fall over the edge of the bun. I'm also going to add a little bit of sauce underneath one side of the bun just to make it look like the sauce fell over the bun. I just think it looks really nice. A burger like this has to have pickles. These are what's called bread and butter pickles. Want to pick out the ones that are not perfectly round, but that have a more organic shape to them. And I like to pull them off so that they hang over the bun just a little bit. And I love the green color of these pickles too. I noticed that the shelf-stable pickles are not as bright as these. Here's the burger patty that we seared with the really nice grill marks. I'm just going to brush a little bit of oil onto sides and around the edges. All right, here's the cheddar cheese. How I place this cheese is very important because once I melt the cheese is stuck to the meat. And there are many ways to melt cheese on a burger patty when food styling. I like to use a heat gun because I feel it just gives me more control. I want to make sure to melt the hard edges of the cheese so that they become more round and begin to hug that meat just a little bit. Now the cheese is melted on the patty. I have to make sure that I put this exposed part of the burger facing the front of the camera. The burger patty is the star of the show. Oh, that looks really good. The next part of this is the bacon. The bacon, just like the beef patty, just needs a little bit of love. Brushing it with oil makes it look like it was just cooked. The next thing that goes on now is the slaw. I'm simply just going to dollop some of this dressing directly onto the vegetables and mix them with my hand. I feel that this is going to give me more control. And then what I like to do is just gently massage the sauce into the slaw and then build a mound that I like. Before I add the slaw, I need to prep the top bun. And so just like I did with the bottom bun, I am going to add a little bit of oil to some of the toasted areas around the edge. And then I'm going to spread some barbecue sauce on it as well. The one thing that I know about a bacon barbecue cheeseburger is that it's supposed to be a little bit messy. And so that is part of my goal, is to have a little bit of drippage, a little bit of sauce on the plate, like that's all good. Just like in the arcade rooms where the crane comes over and tries to grab that toy, I'm gonna gently grab a handful of this slaw, carefully place it onto the burger. And now all I need to do is just give some of these stray pieces of cabbage some direction. Okay, now it's time to add the top of the bun. Now, once this is down, it's down. There's no turning back from here. Here we go. Oh, that feels really good. So as I'm putting this bun down, I don't want to smash all of that volume that I created in the slaw. I want to just sort of nestle this sauce into the slaw, because this burger is all about height. I've allowed the food to speak. If the sauce wants to come over the bun and spill onto the plate, that's great, because that's what sauce does. If the cheese wants to melt a little bit too far down the meat, that's great too, because that's what cheese does. And so I feel that my job as a food stylist is to help the food do what it wants to do. Whenever I finish styling food, the first thing that comes to mind is, how is the audience gonna read this? Is it gonna be, I wanna eat this? For me, what makes a successful styled food, that needs to define the recipe. I need to look at it and immediately be able to say, that looks like what I was supposed to make. There's a feeling that I can't really describe. This feeling has to do with subconsciously comparing it to millions of images I've seen of burgers, thousands of burgers that I've eaten, and hundreds of burgers that I've actually styled. And then all of that just sort of comes together as I'm staring at this burger that I just made. When I look at it, I can just know it's good or it's not.
Oh, yes!